of Warships. It's one of my favorite games. It's tactical, it can be intense, and definitely deeply rewarding when things go right. But sometimes it doesn't feel like you're fighting ships. It feels like you're fighting your own teammates. Yeah, this video isn't gonna be about me complaining about the teams. It's gonna be about understanding why this is happening. Why is World of Warships community so toxic towards actually each other? And what can we actually do about it to make things better? But what exactly is toxicity in World of Warships? Well, very often it is just around the chat. But it's not always so obvious. Sometimes it's just a lot of spamming on the minimap, or AFKing, trolling, or just being constantly negative, thinking that, well, you're just gonna lose before the match even begins. And even when it's not directly targeted towards you, it still creates pretty hostile atmosphere, making many players just stop enjoying the game. And the moment you stop enjoying the game, you stop trying, and the negativity spreads. So, what is kind of the cause of that? Well, first, World of Warships is a pretty slow, strategic positioning game, kind of like big chess, but played by multiple people at the same time. One wrong move can cost your team a ship and, in the result, a match. This creates pressure, and when someone messes up, the frustration builds up pretty quickly. Second is poor communication. In contrast to clan battles, there is usually no voice chat or at all no possible communication in random games, especially when we have so many people with so many cultural backgrounds that sometimes it happens that they don't even understand each other's languages, so there's no way they can coordinate. And when coordination fails, people just lash out. Third, it can be the burnout. Some people keep grinding even when they are not really enjoying the game, and maybe it's for just rank, the balloons and steel, or just some daily missions for the battle pass. Whatever it is, if they are frustrated, it can be seen by others and it kind of spreads. Four is, well, a lack of accountability for being toxic. Well, you can report someone, give them -1 karma, but like, what's even the point? Unless somebody just breaks you and you write to support, there is very little chance anything will happen. Third, what might be the cause is the experience gaps. Well, new players do not really know the game mechanics. Veterans expect them to perform perfectly, and since we don't really have a matchmaking that's based on players' performance, but on the ship tier and class, well, it can get tricky. It leads to blaming, name calling, general harassment, and stuff like this. I personally try to help new players by making guides, trying to give them some constructive feedback, but it also gets them miscommunication. This miscommunication is also one of the causes why people think sometimes just regular person is toxic, hostile towards them. But there is also this confidence trap over there. Like, some people think that they are much better than they actually are. They do not really understand the depth of some mechanics, but they are certain their team is the ones holding them back. I call them like the admirals. They think that if they watched one video from like a pro player, they already are the greatest of all time and they can command everyone else. Very often it actually leads to certain loss, because what the pro player did in that one scenario is not exactly gonna be right in the current one, even if the ships are the same and the map is the same. Sometimes just the sheer fact of enemy doing just a little bit different thing can have drastically different outcomes. So yeah, the fleet admirals on the border very often back commanding others is also a kind of not a great moment. But and last is streamer influence. Yeah, some streamers have role in this too. Most of them are doing it unintentionally because they just created their character to be kind of blaming all the low performance players. And like, if they know what they're doing in terms of their own performance, it's okay, right? It's for them. The problem is that some of their viewers are not gonna take up on the idea that usually they are over exaggerating stuff, and you're just gonna take it literally and then try to repeat that because, you know, we are kind of social creatures. We try to repeat what we like. And yeah, people mimic what they see, and if they see this skilled player act that way, they're gonna think that if they repeat that toxic behavior, they're also gonna be considered a good player, which is not exactly the case. Toxicity doesn't just ruin a single match, it ripples. It pushes people away, especially the new ones, and it makes players less likely to communicate, less likely to try, less likely to stay, and even less likely to improve. It kills teamwork, it fuels anger, and worst of all, it becomes a norm. And that's very dangerous. So, Silent, what can we do about it?
Everybody should treat each other with kindness. And don't be a dick!
We cannot fix everyone, but we can always change how we show up. First of all, understand that it is okay to feel frustrated by the matchmaking, by the RNG, by facing specific ships, classes, or your teammates. We are just humans. It's okay to feel emotions, but it's important to choose wisely how we express them. Like, if you just throw your frustrations over in chat, well, it's the audience of the in-game chat are just other players. It's not gonna be wargaming, so whatever you say is not gonna change anything. If you throw a game or you start trolling or AFKing because of your frustration, it's not only gonna hurt everyone around you or in your team, but it's also gonna hurt you. If you queue up for the game, you need to stay cool and just play the game, because other people are also expecting everyone around them to play the game. So if you want the community to change, you need to start yourself. The in-game report tools do not really work, but there is something called a blacklist. So if somebody is just keep on trying to blame everyone around them and just you don't want to listen to them, straight up add to the blacklist. You're not gonna hear from them anymore at all. Last thing is, do not use one's stats to blame them. It's very important to check other builds and kinda the stats just to have a feedback on what you could have done better. Like, for example, if you know that your Des Moines is a range mod or your GK doesn't have secondary spec at all, you know that you cannot really count on them being the greatest players of the time. So you try to focus more on yourself rather than them. You try to change your gameplay based on the information you're given. Checking other stats at the end of the match is more of a clue if the loss or a win was on you, was it on somewhere in between you and the guys, anything else actually, but it gives you feedback on what you could have done better. It also gives you clue if the player is new or not, because you really need to be patient, especially around the new players. New guys do not really get everything and they just like hop on in and try to have some fun. So if you see a new players into the game, you have to know that they're gonna make mistakes and it's okay for them to make those mistakes. It's better if after the game, once you see somebody like this, like if, for example, you saw your cruiser give broadside to a Yamato, right? And he died pathetically. And you check their stats at the end of the game, and they have like 1k games, and that was like first game in a tier 9. Just write them a message, mate. You shouldn't give broadside to Yamato in your cruiser. I don't know, maybe link them a tutorial for that ship. Or do anything that's constructive for them. Some will not care, but well, it creates much better atmosphere for those that actually want to learn. If somebody doesn't want to learn, well, it's free fun for you later on, right? But you might actually make somebody's day with this kind of comment, and just being better person is very rewarding for you. All of those are kind of small things, right? But they matter. If more of us do them, the community will feel better. And healthier community is much more likely to be respected by the game developers, such as Wargaming, and maybe, I'm not sure about that, but it might lead to us actually making a change in World of Warships, changing what we don't like, what we want more of. It might actually become something that will be heard eventually. Because Wargaming is not gonna listen to an angry mob complaining about something. But if we are positive players and we try to give them constructive criticism, constructive feedback, and we just need to prove that we want to play this game, we wanted to improve it, maybe they will listen. Maybe that's the way to actually reach them. We don't know because we actually never tried. I haven't heard about Wargaming's game that did not end up in a toxic waste dump so far. So maybe this video is gonna be your starter point about this topic. Let's make a World of Warships a little bit better place. One match at a time. If you guys watched this far, well, thank you. Like seriously, if you care about the player base in this game, that's where the change starts, like change from you. If you have positive stories that you want to talk about, your faults or how to deal with toxicity, well, I'm gonna be very glad to hear about it in the comments. And hey, maybe we're gonna start something here. Well, until next time, signing out.